listening to you guys talk, I can hear that a lot of you are already using some sort of SDAIE strategy in your own classroom, which is awesome. It's amazing. We want to take that and we want to build on that, and we want to make it a stronger presence in your classroom. So we're going to take a moment and we're just going to look at some of the SDAIE strategies that I noticed you guys use. So this information was gathered through interviews with you guys and through observation going in your classroom. It was also gathered through student interviews, so I did ask your students what they were doing, and from there I gathered some of the SDAIE strategies that you already use. All of this is supposed to make you more aware and purposeful, and also challenge you to try new strategies as well. So here's a quick chart. It goes over the activities that you have to do in your classroom. So reading support, writing support, vocabulary support, all of these are things we should be doing in all of our classrooms. These are the things that you guys already practice in your classroom. These are the things that you could still experience, the problems and issues that you still experience even though you're doing these things, and some possible SDAIE strategies that can help you solve the problem that you're experiencing. So for example, if we just look at the reading support, no, I apologize. Let's look at vocabulary. Looking at the vocabulary support, I know a lot of you are currently designating certain days or certain activities that focus on the academic vocabulary in your classroom to help students develop that. Talking to your students, I do feel that many students still feel uncomfortable using academic vocabulary in regular conversation. So one of the strategies that can come up is maybe modifying the graphic organizer that you use in your classroom during vocabulary to help make it more purposeful in a dialogue exchange. So if we quickly look at the example that I have linked, the graphic organizer that we're looking at is one in which students are actually creating a script. They're looking at the synonyms and the antonyms and the meaning and the part of speech. They're creating sentences. They're giving us an image, but then they're also creating a dialogue that you look at a couple of examples. The first one is for the word accurate. We have the word written up at the top, then we've got the meaning and the parts of speech connected to it so they know what part of speech it should go into. We've got the synonym and the antonym, and we have a visual representation of the word, a pictorial representation. We still ask them to use it in a couple of sentences, but then they create a dialogue between at least two people that actually uses the word or variation, a morph of the word correctly in dialogue so that they can see how it's supposed to be used. Here's a second example of that. Again, word, meaning, part of speech, synonym, antonym, sentences, visual representation, and using it in a script so that students know how it should be used together when they're talking together, okay? I do want to point out that this presentation is available to you guys on the Google Classroom, the PD Google Classroom, so you can access all of this information again at a later time if you need to. You want to go back and look at this chart. But let's keep moving on. And we're going to skip that. Yes, we're going to skip that. We're going to go to team planning. So this is where your work comes into play. We're paying attention to the fact that this professional development is going to be embedded within our job. We're not just going to do it once and then walk away. You're going to do it in your team meetings. We're going to talk about it in the staff meetings. We're going to be coming back and presenting the information that you guys learned. So it is embedded. It is something that we're going to be coming back to. We're really investing into this professional development. You're going to get into your team. It's based on your content and your grade level. So for example, Science 7, you guys are going to be one team together. ELA 7, you guys are one team together. You're going to use this list right here to decide on the SDAIE strategies you want to use. We'll take a look at that in just a second. And then you're going to make a copy of the graphic organizer down here at the bottom, and then make sure you link it to this chart right here so that everyone can find everyone's evidence and process. So let's quickly look at some of the SDAIE strategies. It's a very straightforward document. It's got a lot of options on there for you. Let that load. It's got a lot of options. Just take your time with your group going through it and deciding which SDAIE strategy you would like to use. It does provide a little bit of a description in case you aren't familiar with that. And then of course, always go do your own research if needed. So you guys can look at your SDAIE strategy that you want to use. And then you're also going to have a landing pad document. This is the document you're going to use during your PD cycle to record what it is you guys are doing. There's 3 parts to it. There's a section that you complete before implementation. So this is what we're doing right now. We're going to focus on this part of the chart today and make sure we have this filled out before we leave today. You are going to have to decide on when you will meet again, because this isn't just something that we're doing once. You're going to meet within a week from today, because you're going to choose the strategy, you're going to figure out how to do it in a lesson, and then you're going to actually do it in a lesson and come back with your data results on that. So we do have to create a time for a second meeting. It doesn't have to be everyone, it does have to be everyone from your team though, okay? And then if we keep going on this document, there is a spot for completing this while you implement this strategy. So this is what you'll use during your second meeting when you do data collection and analyze that data. And then there's a third part that you will do after you've completed the section. This is 2 weeks away. So after 2 weeks of using the strategy and collecting data, this is what you're going to use to help start putting together the presentation that your teams will be presenting during a staff meeting, okay? This is the document that needs to be connected to this chart right here. So I do have space for every team. I've already linked ELA 7s because I wanted to show you guys a sort of completed version. So we're going to take a peek at that real fast. So it's got all our names put in there, and then we'll create norms and we'll hold each other accountable, and we'll go through the chart and finish it up together. So it should be linked. And now I'm going to give you guys time to actually do that. Is there any questions before we get started? No? You guys feel comfortable? All right, let's get going.